Welcome to Beyond the Alphabet, Nurturing Phonemic Awareness with Your Child. My name is Danae Aboa. I am a reading specialist and I'm the creator of Reading Rescue Blueprint. Reading Rescue Blueprint basically exists to take the overwhelm out of teaching your child to learn to read. So that's what we're here for today, to just be able to take away that feeling of, I don't know how to do this, I don't know what to do, and to just give you the tools that you need to equip yourself in order to do that with your child. So we're going to be talking about phonemic awareness today and why it's an absolutely crucial skill for your child learning to read. One that's often overlooked, but is, as science is showing and evidence is showing, it's the crucial building block for your child learning to read. So you're in the right place today. So let's get into it. What exactly is phonemic awareness, and why do I say it's the crucial building block for your child learning to read? So your child is going to go through two reading phases. The first phase is basically from the age of about 4 years old to about 8 years old. And during this phase, we call it the learn to read phase. Basically just means that in class, they're getting a lot of reading specific instruction. They spend a lot of their time on learning to read. And it's during this phase that if kids are not given a really solid phonemic awareness foundation, what we'll talk about in a minute, they start to develop a lot of habits, bad habits around reading. And so, they start to look for pictures and they try to use the pictures to help them figure out the words. And, they might start to guess it based on the first letter in the word. They might look around the sentence or skip the word and try to figure it out from the rest of the context of the sentence. So during this stage, kids really develop these habits, whether they're good habits or these bad habits. The second phase of reading that your child will go through is once they hit about 9 years old, they enter what we call the read to learn phase. What this basically means is that they're given a paragraph or an entire page of just text, very few pictures, and they're expected to learn from it. So now they're not getting so much reading instruction. The instruction for what they're learning is actually in the reading. But the problem with this is that if they've developed those bad habits, now their pictures are gone, their context clues are gone, and they're like, I don't know how to figure out this word anymore because all the things that I used to use are gone. And so this is a really hard stage, especially because this age is, very socially sensitive and there's a lot of, just easy teasing and that kind of stuff that goes on. And this starts to really separate the readers from the non-readers, as they're looking around the room and they're realizing, oh, that guy knows how to read and I don't know how to read. And it really starts to kind of become glaringly obvious. And this starts to show itself in a lot of different ways as a classroom teacher. You see it come out in behavior, attention seeking, disengagement, just I don't know how to read, I'm not going to do it. And so, if your child is in this age group, you may already start to hear them making some of these references. So it just kind of shows where they're at in this phase of reading. If you're here and your child is not yet there, they're kind of in that learn to read phase, it's a great time because you have the chance to kind of nurture these phonemic awareness skills in your child before they develop these bad habits that you will need to re-break later. And if your child's in that group, don't worry, we've got you. We are going to make sure that we reteach this, relearn, break some of those habits and get them onto a roll with reading. So basically what we want to teach our children is that all the clues for the word are inside the word. We're so used to looking around words for clues, and we need to really teach them that the clues are all in the word itself. We just have to really focus on the word. And words, essentially, what we want them to know is words are essentially just a string of sounds. It's a whole bunch of individual sounds that have been put together, strung together to make a word. And so by understanding that it's a series of sounds that create words, we can really teach our children that the necessary tools to figure out the word are just break apart the sounds and to put them back together. So it's about teaching kids to zoom into a word rather than zooming out and trying to find all the clues around the word. So we really want to just teach our kid when you get stuck on the word, zoom in. Just figure out what those sound parts are so that we can put it together. So now we kind of have established what phonemic awareness is and why it's really important. And so how do you develop this in your child? How do you build these skills of phonemic awareness so your child isn't in that phase of just figuring it out through all these context clues and pictures and things like that? Step 1 seems easy. When you see it, learn the correct sound for each letter. It's really easy to check out and just say, hey, my kid knows A says A, B says B. They know their sounds, they know their letters. The kind of move on, right? But I want to stop you there because we actually as adults have kind of butchered this a little bit for our kids, and teachers have done the same over years and years of just incorrect letter pronunciation. And so basically, if you take the example of B and C, when we're growing up or when our kids are growing up, we teach them, hey, B says B, C says K. And then we get them to read and we say, okay, can you sound out this word? And they say, sure, K, A, B. Now, when they go to put this word together, here's what they're actually faced with. Cab. Do you hear the extra sounds in there that we're expecting them to kind of filter out, that we over time have learned to filter out in our own minds when we're sounding out words? We're expecting them to just know, okay, just drop out the sounds and just figure out what the word actually is. Cab. Cab. Of course, it's cab. So they haven't learned these filtering skills. And so this is really frustrating, as you can imagine, for a kid who's trying to figure out cab and all they can hear is cab. And so here's what happens if you teach the correct sounds for the letters. So let's say we reteach them and we say, okay, now B says B and C says K. So it's a very short sound, hardly a sound at all. It's all in the back of the throat. K. Now when they go to sound out this word, listen. K, A, B, cab. There's a lot less sounds that they need to filter out. And so they're going to get to the end result a lot more quickly and with a lot less frustration because they actually are using those proper sounds. Now, there are 11 sounds that we have mistaught and misunderstood on our own parts that we need to relearn and reteach our children. 11, if you think about it, 11 is almost half of the alphabet. So we really need to do a better job of learning these sounds so that when we're reading with our children, we can help to kind of make those sounds correct in their minds as well. So let's go through them together. B says B, not B. C says K, not K. D says D, not D. G says G, not G. J says J, not J. K says K, not K. P says P, not P. T says T, not T. V says V, not V. W says W, not W. And Y says Ye, not Y. So if we can really master these 11 sounds, we are going to help our kids really understand the sounds inside of words, and they'll be able to string words together so much more successfully because they're just using those specific sounds. All right, so that's step 1, learn the proper sounds for each letter. Step 2 is to develop an auditory awareness. So often when we're teaching our kids to read, we start with visuals. We start with, puzzles with the letter and the pictures on them. We give them little picture books. Everything's visual at that point. But actually, learning to read really does start with your ears. And so it's about learning to hear all of the sounds within a word to understand that that's how a word has been created on print and when they're actually looking at it on a page. At Reading Rescue Blueprint, what we like to do is we start each lesson with a fun auditory awareness game. So something like the floor is lava is a favorite. So basically we scatter our pillows around wherever we're reading, our living room or whatever, and we give you a list of words that you read to your child. So you would say, okay, today we're listening for the sound P inside of words. And so you read the word caterpillar. And so your child has to stop, repeat back the word caterpillar, and listen for where that P sound is inside of that word. So they're going to say caterpillar. And when they hear it, they get to jump to the next island. If they don't hear it, say we have given you a word that doesn't have a P sound in it, they stay safe on their island. And so kids really enjoy this game because it's super fun and engaging, and it just really tunes in their minds to hear those sounds as they're listening to words. Another thing that you can do is, let's say you're getting a snack ready for your child or something, you want to know what they want to drink, you can say it in a way that they have to pull apart the sound. So you might say, hey, would you like some I, L, K, or J, U, S? And have your child kind of string those together, put them together to understand what their two options are, and then respond back to you, oh, may I please have J, U, S? And so they have to pull them back apart in order to answer you. So it's just a kind of an easy way to kind of build this auditory awareness of words into their daily life. And then there's 3 other ones that you can try. Basically adding a sound, taking away a sound, or changing a sound in a word. So you might have your child take away the sound D from dart and see if they can come up with art. And then maybe you want to add a sound. Maybe you want to add a bl to ink and see if they can come up with blink. And then maybe you want to change a sound. So you might ask your child, okay, can you take the word cap? And I want you to change the a in cap to an And so your child has to figure out where that a sound is in the word, change it to a new sound, and see if they can string it back together. So these are really good activities that you can use with your child to just build this auditory awareness inside of their minds, so that when they actually go to start blending and reading, that they have all the tools that they need. And that brings us to step number 3 of teaching your child phonemic awareness. So step 3 is basically putting those great letter sounds that we have retaught them with our auditory awareness of sounds inside of words. And now we're putting them together in blending, which we like to call reading. So my tip for you is to just start with 2 sound words, or there really will be nonsense words for the most part. Just take 2 letters that you've been working on together and use those to create words. So let's say that you have introduced the sound A and B with the letters A and B. And so you want to just work on these 2 letters. So you're going to just take those 2 letters, you're going to put them side by side, and you're going to have your child point to each sound and make the sound of each one individually. So they'll say A, B. And then teach them to run their finger across, and as their finger hits the next sound, let it say the next sound. So you're going to hold out ab, ab, and they'll be able to sound that together. And then you can take those same 2 letters and flip them around. So now they're starting with the b, a, have them point to each one individually, say the sound, b, a, and then run it together, slide their finger across, ba. Now you can probably hear that starting with the vowel sound is probably the better place to start, especially for kids who are just learning how to blend, or if your child just is really having a hard time kind of taking out those spaces in the middle and blending sounds together. Starting with the vowel sound is easier to start with because you can hold out those sounds a lot longer. So it's easier to hold out ah for as long as you need to before you get to the next sound. Whereas when you're starting with the consonant, b is such a short sound that it's hard to hold until you get to the next one. So start with the vowel sound, and then as a challenge, you can kind of reverse it and use a consonant first into a vowel. That's my suggestion for just beginning blending. So you can continue to kind of build on this and start to introduce 3 and 4 letter blends to your child. But I would suggest using nonsense words. The reason that I really encourage parents to use nonsense words is because we as humans are just naturally wired to find shortcuts in our brain to process things. And so your child is very quickly going to start the habit of kind of guessing from the first sound. If we start with words like cat and bun and these familiar words to them, they really naturally kind of start to create these quick habits for getting to the end of the word. So a nonsense word basically forces them to say every single sound all the way across the word before determining what the word actually is. And so it kind of builds this habit in them to really see the whole word before actually saying what the word is. So it kind of just rewires that part of their brain that just kind of skips to the end. And so it just really helps them to zoom in and focus on each individual sound in the word. And the 4th tip that I have for you for when you're introducing blending finally to them is to do it systematically. So what I mean by systematically is taking only the sounds that you've taught them and worked with them on for all of your learning activities, basically. So don't teach them, 3 new letter sounds and then throw the Cat in the Hat book at them or something like that, because that has 23 letter sounds that they haven't worked on yet, and they're just going to lose confidence and feel overwhelmed by that, especially, if it introduces long vowel patterns and, things that they haven't even reached yet. Keep it within their reach by only using the sounds that you have already worked on with them, and then just add a little bit more, and then review what you've got. Add a little bit more, review what you've done. So at Reading Rescue Blueprint, basically, this is how our programs are set up. So every day you introduce a new letter with your child. The videos are there for you to help you introduce that sound to your child. And then they naturally go into phonemic awareness activities and just building games and that kind of stuff to help build that phonemic and auditory awareness inside of them. And so all of this is done for you. You basically just sit with your child and it systematically runs. So it only uses the sounds that you've worked on in the previous lessons to read the next story or to read the next paragraph or whatever they're working on in the next lesson. So it's very systematically laid out so that your child builds confidence, because they're like, hey, I know all these words, that I know these sight words that I'm actually using in this story because we've worked on them already. And it just really helps to, 1, build their confidence, but also 2, solidify those skills so that they're ready to move on to the next sound in each lesson. If this is something that you think sounds like a good fit for you and your child, there's just 3 easy steps to get started. Number 1, create your free account at readingrescueblueprint.com. 2, grab any device. You can use your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever you have handy, whatever's closest to you when you're folding laundry or making dinner or whatever you're doing. And 3, sit your child right beside you and just work through the lesson with your child. You are the reading coach in this program, so you basically will read the word list to them and kind of do the activities with them, but we give you all the resources that you need. We do video introductions to each activity so that you know exactly what's coming next. All the activities are built in. They're really interactive and fun. So it's a really good buy-in for your child to eliminate that conflict that often comes with frustrating reading experiences and that kind of stuff. So if that is something that you are interested in, I'd love it if you would join us over at readingrescueblueprint.com. And again, create your free account there, get started on your first lesson, and just watch your child flourish in their phonemic awareness and their reading. All right, thank you so much for joining me today for this class, and I will see you over at readingrescueblueprint.com.